It is time. The time hath arrived. Ring the orange alarm. Halloween decor is making its way to stores, and I am here for it. The date was June 20th. The places were Old Time Pottery and At Home and Joann's. Last weekend I ventured out because word on the street is that At Home and Old Time Pottery, as well as Joann's and maybe a couple of other places, actually had some Halloween decor out. So I took the trip, I made the trek, and I found us some really cool Halloween decor out in the wild. Let's talk about Joann Fabrics for a minute. I heard that they had some Halloween fabrics and maybe a piece of decor or two, but my Joann's over here in the North Carolina area, specifically Charlotte, there was nothing. There was some Harry Potter and I think a skull and crossbones fabric, but that was it. However, At Home and Old Time Pottery did not disappoint. I was even able to come home with my very own piece of 2021 Halloween decor, and I am so stoked, I can't even tell you. And I also brought home some footage that I could share with you ghouls. So take a ride with me, and once we're done, we'll come back here. We'll have a discussion about what we saw. Maybe we'll talk about our favorites and some predictions that we have for the upcoming Halloween decor season. Welcome back. Hope you guys had just as much fun shopping as I did. I had some favorites, so let me divulge. Let's start with at home. So far, top of the line for me has to be the Dark Decadence line. I think they did a really amazing job. It is very reminiscent of the Ghoultide Gatherings collection that they had from last year, which was more burgundy, black and white. I see this being maybe a very specific black and white with some undertones of like jewel tones, very similar to that spooky tree that they have. My favorite parts of that collection are certainly the mercury glass skull and the mercury glass pumpkins that light up. The ombre from white to black, can't beat them. I think they're absolutely stunning. A close second to that would have to be the bejeweled trees. I love them both, but specifically the smaller ones. I think that is a piece of decor that you're going to be able to throw into any kind of style that you might have at home, whether it be mid-century modern, or if it's very, very gothic, or if it's more vintage. There was also the Spellbound collection. From what I could see, they had some really, really exciting stuff. It wasn't necessarily in my wheelhouse, but it was beautiful. They had really, really beautiful witches, this gorgeous tall witch hat that is purple with spider webs on it. I think this line is going to be their big witch-centric line of the season. I think this is going to be very reminiscent of their Bewitched line from last year, except sub out the white snakeskin for the purple spiderwebs. I think that's what we're going to see. Halloween Heroes. I think that is going to be their really traditional line that they do this year. I think we're going to see a lot of Frankenstein. I think we're going to see a lot of mummies. I think we're going to see some Draculas. I think we're going to see some ghosts, ghouls, and goblins. This is definitely going to be something that's going to have more like a universal tone to it. And I could definitely see it being merged with their Cool Cats collection from last year. I think that would sell extremely well. Halloween Hoedown was their farmhousey, farmy Halloween collection that they have, which was beautiful in its own right. There was actually even a Harvest Hoedown version that was more autumnal than the actual Halloween Hoedown was. But it had its perks too. I really liked the tin pumpkins that they had, as well as the little Airstream trailer that had the witch in it. That was absolutely adorable. I loved it. I really enjoyed the little rustic hedgehog they did out of the wood chips, and they did like it's like little bears that they did as well that were in an acorn. Also, the Lunar Enchantments collection is back. I did see the end cap with that. They had the spirit board, they had the palm reader sign. There was another magic book that was there, as well as a couple of other little pieces. I'm excited to see what they do with this line this year. Fingers crossed. Hopefully they do some sort of expansion. I think that that would be really amazing to see. Old Time Pottery was giving me quick and easy Halloween vibes. Elementary school classroom Halloween vibes. There's a lot of tinsel. There were a lot of gnomes. Still, the biggest hits for me at Old Time Pottery were the large cat candy basket, which was like a standalone candy basket. Black cat that was wearing like a small orange ruffle and a little skeleton suit. You could put candy right in his head. And I also really liked, there was a black and white, very simple garland. No sparkles, no pizzazz that was super crazy, just really glossy, very vintage feeling garland. Okay, so let's talk predictions a little bit. The one thing I think we're not going to see this year from at home is going to be that eerie and enchanted line that they did last year and the year prior. There were a lot of dragons, a lot of dragon eggs. It was kind of woodland-esque, maybe a little Lord of the Rings. Don't get me wrong, I am a big fan of the trilogy, love The Hobbit, Samwise Gamgee fan over here, but I do think that after going to at home last year, after Halloween, I really realized that there was quite a bit of that collection left, and I don't think it sold as well as they had anticipated this past year. However, like I said before, I do think that we're going to see a little bit more of the Lunar Enchantments collection. I'm hoping that they just expand on it and give us a very cool, lunar, majestic vibe that I think it's going to be one that they knock it out of the park with. And certainly I think we're going to see a new line or three. I think we're going to see another Victorian Gothic Halloween collection. Maybe not like Ghoultide Gatherings last year, but something potentially vampire. Again, this is all in my brain. And who knows, maybe I could just manifest this and we'll just toss it out into the ether and see what happens. But I would love for anybody, it doesn't have to be at home, anybody to do a matte black haunted house collection. All black. The entire thing black. I have things in my head that should totally be in that collection. Who knows, maybe one day I'll get lucky enough that I could pull that off on my own. So what about you? What are your predictions for the year? What are your favorites? Do you have any favorites so far? even though we only have a few things out. Like I said, I am in love with the mercury glass skulls and the mercury glass pumpkins. Leave your predictions and your favorites down in the comments. If you had a good time, make sure you subscribe. There will be a new upload hopefully every week with equally as enticing content as you saw today. If you have any ideas about where to hit up next, make sure you leave those down in the comments below. Thanks for doing spooky stuff with me, and I will see you next time. Bye! Tease video time. We're gonna do it again. This is like the 5th time I've tried to do this video.